Hi, my name's Angela Casey and welcome to Edinburgh Outdoors, the podcast that explores Edinburgh's green spaces and the people in them. And I'm out of town today. I've come out to East Lothian to Gilmerton House, and I'm in the Gilmerton walled garden with a group of volunteers called Growing Matters, who are transforming a huge walled garden. They're 10 years into a 25-year project, and we're going to find all about it. And it's a lovely sunny day. It's very peaceful. You can hear a lawnmower in the background, but other than that, it's very peaceful. And I'm here to welcome to Edinburgh Outdoors, Susan Moffat and Caroline Glass, who are volunteers with Growing Matters. So welcome to Edinburgh Outdoors.
Hello. Hello, thank you.
Hello. Very nice to meet you. We've already been looking round.
As you can see, we're surrounded by farmland, which is monoculture, and then the latest thing, which is the pond. We developed the pond, which was just last year. It was quite incredible how quickly the swallows arrived, the house martins arrived.
Opened.
Yeah, we put lots of plants in. We probably will get frogs at some point, I would imagine. There's a water course on the other side of the wall. And when we first came here, the old well was completely covered in brambles. But one of our volunteers is a hydrologist, which was very useful.
That's very handy.
So we cleared it all, and he went down and inspected it all. And so it's being connected up to the pond.
Oh, this is brilliant. What a nice space. Do you know, I visit quite a lot of community gardens, and the lottery has been a complete godsend for everyone.
It has.
To create these sheds. This outdoor
this was lottery
kitchen
funding.
thing
The
is really
pond
nice.
was lottery funding, and some of the work that we did with the schools was that lottery funding, because we had a
amazing.
project. One of the volunteers worked with the school in Athelstaneford,
Right.
and it meant that there was a little bit of funding for tools and other equipment and stuff, and the children would come here, learn how to plant and make compost.
Yeah, they could walk here sort of through the woods. So it ticked a few other boxes for them at school, I think. And then arrive here and do
That's
a little
so nice.
project. Yeah. Even sowing some seeds, you know, who can grow the biggest sunflower, things like that. Yeah. This is our potato store. There are a few new potatoes in there that we've already harvested. We have a guy from the Borders is one of our volunteers, and he's a real tatty man. So Aura and Vivaldi are the early ones.
Oh, yes.
You said that in unison so beautifully. Vivaldi. Do you want raspberry on your way round?
Look at those.
Yes, they're real wild ones.
You made the jam, was that you? No, it's the other lady made them.
Jill.
We're talking with a mouthful.
This is our mini wood.
Right, so this is a strip.
Because the garden was empty when we took it over, apart from a few old fruit trees around the walls, there are no other trees. And so we've been planting this woodland with mostly native species. And they're beginning to really take off now.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Hazel and birch.
Cherry.
Rowan, crabapple.
One of
Really
my
nice.
jobs every year is to, in the autumn, to go around with the shears when there aren't likely to be any baby birds or creatures around anymore, and feed each of the trees with a few spadefuls of compost.
Yes.
Just to help them get going, but they have got going now.
They have got going, haven't they? Well, just as we were coming in, I was saying, you know, in 10 years isn't much in the lifetime of a tree, but actually these are doing quite
Doing
well, aren't
pretty
they?
well, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and you've got some red currants.
Here, a few fruits, and that's a medlar tree.
Was that so? That was here when you came.
No, we
That's been
planted that
planted.
in memory of the volunteer who died.
Oh.
Actually, it's her
And it's
tree.
fruiting.
Yes, yes.
This is lovely with the meandering paths through the...
Yes.
Yeah.
No, there were
Wild
no
bit.
trees here at all.
Right.
None.
So how long have you both been volunteers?
I have been right from the start.
So 10 years.
So that's nearly 10 years, yes.
Uh-huh.
And you not long after?
A little after, my partner was more involved here, and he's the one who built the sheds and did lots of landscaping work, and it was really his project. And I had a different community garden where I worked in the village, but then as he became less able and got dementia, I started coming here with him, and so we both came maybe for about the last 5 years, and he recently died. And now I feel part of the community too, and I've let the other one fade into the background a bit, the other community garden. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's nice, because that's sort of prolonging something which he started. Oh, I'm very sorry about that.
In the winter we'll plant a pear tree. We quite like planting commemorative trees for people. And it was a great support to me while I was caring for him those last 3 years when the Alzheimer's was quite intense, to have this place to come to. First on our bikes, and then he couldn't manage on a bike anymore, and we walked and got a lift back with somebody. Yeah, so it really helped with the whole caring process.
That's both the outdoors and the community, I suppose. That's a really difficult time. Oh, I think you just need to lie on the grass and sunbathe sometimes.
I do.
As you will
There's
see.
the bee world.
Oh, you've got so many.
And yesterday there was a beekeeper's course, wasn't there?
There was, yes.
So how many volunteers are beekeepers?
We have one very expert beekeeper, John Chandler, and he looks after the hives, and he produces honey, and we sell the honey at our open days to make quite a bit of money from that, so he does all of that. Plus, as Caroline said, he does beekeeping courses, and usually there's about half a dozen people come to each of those courses, and he uses the craft shelter over there, and they look at all the bees. Quite a lot of beehives now.
That's a lot of beehives, isn't
Yes.
it?
Mature, bee-friendly trees and plants.
Yeah.
And again, the hedge that surrounds the beehives, that is all new. That's all been planted in the last 10 years.
It's really nice.
And it's really mature now. This area here was planted up for willow with the aim of growing the willow for willow weaving, which we do. And again, we've run courses for willow weaving, and we've made plant obelisks and baskets and so on. And some of the willow, the taller stuff, is just kept for early pollination, because it gets catkins quite early on in the season. And the rest of it is we cut in January, early January. We've sometimes been out in the snow cutting willow.
So did someone come and show you how to make things with the willow?
We've had some, expert willow weavers who've run courses, and we're now fortunate in that one of our volunteers is an expert in willow, and so as well as having this stand of willow here at the bottom of the garden, we've got a new lot of willow planted, different types, and they come in different colours. So for weaving it looks really lovely, because you've got these different colours of willow for baskets and so on.
You are managing to pick or to find just exactly the right volunteers, aren't you? So you've got a specialist beekeeper, you've got someone who knows about hydrology, you've got someone who knows doing baskets.
We haven't picked. We've just
They found you, have they? Right. Do people have to apply?
They come for a taster and see how it goes, and if it suits them. I mean, some people would prefer a busier community garden, and then they might go to Amosfield. This is more peaceful, and we're directing this ourselves. There's no volunteer coordinator.
Right.
We have maybe a dozen volunteers on a regular basis.
Yeah, and there's a pool maybe of 16, but
and we don't have anybody who's paid. So in some garden projects they have funding for paid coordinators, like Amosfield, for example.
A different thing for a different social life and experience.
It's very different.
Here in the country, there aren't so many people who want to volunteer because they've got their own gardens,
And we're a bit more off the beaten track as well.
Yeah.
Takes a bit of finding us.
It does. I got lost in the World War II village trying to find you, but that was quite nice.
And these are the step over apples. Is that what we call them?
Yeah, or
Or espalier.
Yeah. This is a ridgy kind, quite interesting. We've got all sorts of interesting varieties, and we have a map, I think, in the shed.
These are really nice, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
So you've got no paid coordinator,
No.
which does make you unusual based on the ones I've been to visit and people I see.
But then if you have a passion for willow or a passion for bees, you can just do your thing in a more free way. We've tried to get a coordinator for some years and it never worked. So now we've just kind of accepted our identity.
But that's worked for us.
Yeah. And there's a lot of freedom that you wouldn't have if it was all coordinated.
So it's very different.
Are you local too, Susan?
I live just outside North Berwick.
Right.
So yes, quite local.
I'm having garden love here. Does anyone ever come out of Edinburgh and garden here?
Yes.
Yes, Gary comes on the train and with his bike. You might meet him. He's the tatty man. Jill's from Haddington.
John comes from
Portobello.
Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is a true little oasis. It's really nice. Look at this wild area.
There's a few globe artichokes. We've got quite a lot of those.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll see over there's the lavender bed, and we've been picking that just now. Some of it for drying, and some of it is going to a local florist.
And we get some petty cash for it there. Yeah, that was somebody's enthusiasm. A girl, she was going to make soaps and cosmetics and things and planted all that lavender, but her life moved on after a few years, and so we've got all this lavender now to sell or enjoy, and of course it's great for the bees.
And the fruit trees here, these are all new. I think they're all apples at the moment.
Mostly,
There might be a
but this is where we're going to plant Harold's
pear tree. Yes.
Yeah.
And they're all...
Yeah.
That's nice.
And they're all old varieties.
When it first started, who decided what was going to go where?
We made a 25-year laminated plan, which you can look at in the shed as well. It's a bit of a dream. The shapes, these sort of slightly triangular and geometric shapes, that comes from that plan.
That would be based on the kind of planning that would have been done for the garden many, many years ago.
And this is our soft fruit patch where Jill's picking black currants and red gooseberries.
Ooh. Hi, Jill.
Hi. I can
delicious.
smell them.
It smells wonderful.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Very prolific.
I'm going to eat one.
Please do.
Got some green and some red gooseberry bushes.
Oh, and you might see this strange structure at the back here.
Yeah, Susan can tell you
That
about that.
is housing bee skeps. These are like a natural beehive, and they're created by making a willow basket upside down, and then it's coated in clay, which is taken from the little stream at the back of the garden here, and then put it on top of the willow, and then you just leave a tiny little hole at the bottom that the bees can find their way in, and then they will create their own comb inside. We want the honeybees for pollination as much as for honey.
This is our herb garden.
Oh, this is nice.
With a kiwi growing up the wall.
Although, unfortunately, some kind of little beastie's been eating the fruit. Yes.
Oh.
I didn't think we could grow kiwis in this country.
Yes, well,
Just-
because this is so sheltered and directly south-facing, we have had fruit. This garden was created in commemoration for the same volunteer whom we planted the medlar tree for. She died a few years ago, and her parents, who don't live locally, gave us some money to create a herb garden because she was particularly interested in herbs. And so we were able to get plants and make the path and also build the pergola. And there's a lovely bench that we've had specially made for her as well.
Oh,
So it's nice.
that is
Lovely.
really nice. I'm going to see if I can catch the bees because there's so many bees in my microphone inside.
Sandra, our willow lady. Hello, Sandra.
Hello. This is the first time I've come in, and willow's starting to hold its own against the weeds, so it's lovely. So we're growing a range of willows, some that are lovely in gardens, and you can use them for other things. So you can use them for fine weaving, and then others that are larger, and you can use them for plant supports. So you can grow your own plant supports, and they look lovely. They add to the garden.
And I'll show you the plant supports we made a few weeks ago with Sandra as well, for sweet peas or fairy lights in the winter.
It's so chilled, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very therapeutic.
It is.
Yes.
See you later. Bye.
This path has very recently been installed, and that's so that the garden can be accessible for people. That leads to the pond and the shelf.
You'll see we've got quite a lot of annual flowers, and it depends how many Susan wants to grow along here. She's very enthusiastic about arranging flowers and selling flowers in Edinburgh and so on. So she's got quite a big patch, but she's quite ambitious.
It's really good that we can sell flowers that are locally grown and not flown in, so it's all local.
Yeah. What will you be harvesting today, Susan? Will it be the dahlias?
Yeah, well, just a mixed bunch.
Where and how do you sell them?
I take them to a local whole food shop just in Causeway side that last year took a bunch and said, would you sell them for the charities?
Yeah. And you did?
Yeah, he did. We sold about £700 worth of soul fruits.
There is Addie Marland. She's taking some photographs of dragonflies. She's a very good photographer, and so sometimes her photographs go into publications like, East Lothian Life. She's looking for particular sorts of dragonflies.
We've got these vegetable patches here. Some are communal, and then some of us have our own little patch. Do you have a little patch, Caroline?
I don't.
No,
but you do, don't you?
And this needs a bit of work. But there's some courgettes and some butternut squash. And that red plant is called red orach. Am I pronouncing
Red
that
orach.
right?
Or is amaranth another name?
So is that they've made a flower from it, do you
Yes.
think? Right.
Yeah.
But you can't eat the leaves. I mean, we put them in salad.
Yeah, they're really pretty. They would look nice in a salad, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
And some rather overgrown artichokes.
Artichokes. Do you think you'll eat them? Or just enjoy them?
No, we might eat them.
That's the other thing. You can have your own plot, or you can have a plot where you grow for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have quite a few varieties.
And if someone has a plot like this, they also do some communal work as well. They don't just come and dig their plot and then disappear.
No, 'cause in that respect, it's not like an allotment.
Yes. So you can't just have an allotment and not be part of the community.
Yes. Because our polytunnel.
Wow. It was mostly tomatoes now, because we all would love some tomatoes. So they'll be to share. That's definitely communal.
And some to sell at the open day.
Yes. Oh, so at the open day you have a stall, do you?
We do.
And tell me, when is the open day?
The 23rd of August, Sunday, 12 till 4.
And you're going to have a plant stall?
Yes.
What will you have?
A plant stall. That we've got lots of delphiniums to sell, for example, but there will be other things when the time comes. And the French man will have a vegetable stall, and we'll get some of those lovely vegetables. There'll be jam, there'll be a tombola, there'll be afternoon teas, there'll be a little willow craft activity, people.
And can people, so if they don't come to the open day, can people come along and look? Do people ever just wander along and come in?
It's usually pre-arranged. If they want to get in touch with us, they can do that via the website. And we've often got visitors or prospective volunteers who want to come and check it out. Yeah.
So they can do that via the website?
Yes.
Because I think, well, to be honest, they wouldn't find you anyway.
No,
it's really hard to
they
find
need
you.
instruction.
Yeah, I know. And I still got it wrong. Loving the swallows coming out from the shed.
Yes.
And this is your wonderful shed. This is really very nice.
Yeah, this is our social space, and we've had wreath making, sort of Christmassy wreaths for the door. Very popular these days.
Oh, is that your laminated plan? Look at that, it's beautiful.
And some jam that's already made.
Wow.
Already made, and the next batch to make. And then we've got artists. This was a picture of them when the hydrologist down the well. Yeah.
Oh yes, look at him.
Yeah, and this is us pressing the apples. It's Ruth and Charlie.
And then we've got the birds coming in and out.
Yes. Yeah, and there's a willow swallow up there as well.
Who was the actual person who had the first idea of doing this?
I think it was David Kinloch's now wife. I don't know if it was Sir David's wife, who had a friend who worked at Amisfield Walled Garden. And together they hatched the plan to do something with this derelict walled garden. And for a while the person from Amisfield came and worked on this laminated plan and the early days of our group. And ever since then we've been looking up running the thing ourselves, which is very nice. As you can see, it gives everybody a lot of freedom, and you also have to practice a lot of tolerance because everybody's got a different style, as you've seen walking round, and not everybody has the same taste.
And I think this place feels so peaceful that you couldn't get cross here.
It would take a lot.
One of those swallows was coming right for me there. Yeah. So you've got this lovely high walled garden, and then just on the other side of it there's
a burn, Cogtail Burn.
There's a burn
along there.
Right. But then there's mass commercial agriculture going on.
Absolutely.
Outdoor farming.
Does that impact what you're doing here? Because they've sprayed that, haven't they?
I don't think it does. I mean, that would be quite hard to say in a hard and fast way. But because we are growing so much we're keeping so much of the garden wild for biodiversity, it does to some extent anyway counteract. Although, this is 4 acres and there's hundreds of acres of monoculture in East Lothian.
Yes, it's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, so maybe we help to redeem a little bit for the insects and the wildlife, perhaps. A factor. A hope and a... Yeah.
Well, it feels like it, particularly when the mowing stops. It feels incredibly peaceful. And you mentioned that you have the local school in. Do you have other schools or community groups come in?
That book group came a couple of weeks ago from East Linton, didn't they? Yeah.
We've had walking groups.
Yes, they come.
Got in touch and said, could they come and make it part of their walk?
Yes.
And have their tea break here.
Nice.
And we've got a kettle and all that stuff.
And leave us a donation.
Yes.
That's even better. Obviously, we've got swallows flying around and we've seen the bees and things. What other wildlife have you seen while you've been here?
There's some partridge nesting in amongst the wild area. And they have nested here for several years. And as we said earlier, a friend who's not a regular volunteer but a very good photographer, and she has managed to take photographs of damselflies and butterflies, and the pond has meant that we obviously have a lot more of those.
Yes. And you've got the swallows swooping over it at the moment.
And the swallows arrived almost the day the pond was filled up. The swallows arrived.
There's a dragonfly there. Or whatever it is, I don't know.
But one year we had the local moth group set up a moth trap overnight, and there was really a big variety of moths. So yes, there is a lot of biodiversity.
I think it's wonderful because it was a field with sheep in it.
Yes.
And now it's this beautiful place.
One of our volunteers is going to run a meditation group.
Oh yes, he's a Zen Buddhist, isn't he?
He is. Yeah. And so he's going to do some meditation walks at some point fairly soon.
This pond is so fantastic, and it's also nice that it's right by the place where you sit for a cup of tea.
Well, we specially designed it that way. So because when we have our open day, we use this shelter and the grassy area all around. We set up tables and chairs so that people can sit and just look around and chat. And our open days have been incredibly well attended. It really just helps with the ongoing costs that we have.
And you're a charity, is that right?
Yes, it is.
Right.
Yes, called Growing Matters.
Yes.
Yeah. And there is a board. I'm not on the board, but some of the people here today are.
Do you need more volunteers at all?
Yes, there are openings for all sorts of people of all ages, I would say, with different skills and enthusiasms, and there's room to research something you're particularly keen on, as the lady does with the willow, or the chap who's specially interested in potatoes, trying lots of different varieties. So that sort of thing is always welcome.
And I guess younger people would be really nice to just bring some new ideas and things.
And the whole biodiversity nature of the garden is quite attractive to a lot of people because of the increasing interest in what's happening to the climate. So we have had younger people come along, and maybe who are doing particular projects, and they've come along to see the place.
Yeah. I think this is really interesting, and it's not like anything I've visited so far of all the gardens and places.
Amongst the volunteers there's always been a shared understanding of what the garden is about.
Yeah.
It might not be an identical understanding, but there's a broad enough shared understanding. Would you say, Caroline?
Yes. Yeah, and a shared responsibility for doing some weeding or some tidying up, as well as whatever you might be interested in, the common tasks.
It's very nice. So you will remember I ask some questions at the end. So, Caroline, what does the outdoors mean to you?
It's an enormous help to my well-being. And this is different from my own garden because it's a south-facing walled garden and it's got its own microclimate, so that's wonderful too.
So, Susan, what about you? What does the outdoors mean for you?
Well, I love growing things, and that it's part of my growing up. But I lived in a city in Edinburgh for quite a long time, where I didn't have my own garden. And moving out to the countryside has been hugely important for me. And I love gardening on my own and spending time on my own, but it's also really nice to have other people around. And then we have our coffee breaks at the end of each session, and we discuss what we're going to do next, and we have quite a lot of fun as well. Lots of laughs.
So community is a big part of it, isn't it?
It is.
For being here. And we've already talked about it, Caroline, I think, about has there ever been a time when the outdoors has really helped you? And you said coming here, or when your husband was ill and coming afterwards. Would that be your answer, do you think, to that one?
I recorded it.
So, and what about you, Susan? Has there been a time it helped you?
After retiring, realising that I can spend a lot more time outside. I'm very much an outdoors person rather than an indoors person. Regardless of the weather, I like to be outside, and that's very, very important to me.
And you can say here if you want to, but Caroline, where is your favourite outdoor space in or around Edinburgh?
We are so lucky, aren't we? There are so many nice places. I mean, sometimes it's nice to go and walk in the botanics.
Yeah.
But I think this place is as nice as any, really, on a summer's day. And even in the winter, actually, you know, we've got a wood-burning stove in the shed. So when we've been out harvesting the willow, it's actually very nice to come in and huddle round the stove. That's another favourite place.
I think it's fast becoming my favourite place. I think this is wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
And what about you, Susan? Where's your favourite space?
Well, apart from here, for the same reasons as Caroline, I suppose perhaps more wooded places like Pressmennan Wood,
yes,
which is not
lovely.
too far from here, and that's very beautiful in a different way because it's much more wooded, but it's also got water, and I am particularly interested in birds, and so woodland settings for me are where I'll see a lot more birds.
Good, great. Well, I think we've already talked about how people can find out more, because you have the website, which I'll put links to on the show notes, and they can see photographs on Instagram and Substack if they want to have a look at what a nice day we picked.
Mm-hmm. And usually we go home with some vegetables.
We do.
Oh, yes.
Or flowers, or flowers. So you go home with something nice. And isn't that, it's a bit like nursery school, isn't it?
Yes.
You get something to take home and show mummy. But it's a nice feeling. Yeah.
It is a nice feeling. What I particularly like in other gardens that I visited, but here as well, is that it's not about individuals doing their allotments. It's about a shared community, and that you're sharing the produce and you're sharing the jam and the broad beans and
It's much
things,
more fun.
which is really nice. And then the excess you can sell at the open day.
Yeah,
It'd be really good. Brilliant. Great. Well, thank you very much. I've really enjoyed meeting you.
Good. All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, what a nice garden to visit. I loved meeting Caroline and Susan and just finding out about their community and what they're doing to transform that space. And I highly recommend visiting. Sunday the 23rd of August is their open day, so there's a really good chance to go and have a look at the garden and meet the people and buy some of their produce. And the World War II village right next door is also worth looking at. It's fascinating. And as always, thank you for listening to Edinburgh Outdoors. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please rate or review it. And don't forget to tell your friends about it too. And if you know of an outdoor space in or around Edinburgh that might like to be featured, please get in touch.